Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm in the middle of a mask making session and I thought I would just come on and quickly show you how I am putting together these burlap pockets. I recently made this one to go along with a junk journal, and I decided to make a bunch more for my Etsy shop and fill them up with vintage ephemera. So this is what I have come up with after some experimentation and making some decisions. Here's a shorter one with a little pocket. Here's a longer one. The pocket's a little bit bigger, but then I decided I wanted the pocket to be a good 2/3, if not more, of the tag, so I could fit in a bunch of stuff. And these will all be listed in my Etsy shop on Sunday, September 6th at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. Some of the ephemera that you'll find in them will be vintage postage stamps, there'll be tickets, there'll be vintage liquor labels and vintage apothecary labels and drugstore labels, photos. I have little mini vintage postcards and little flashcards, so I'm going to load them up with a bunch of goodies as much as I can. And I created this using this, which is upholstery, burlap upholstery straps. Goes underneath the cushions on the wood frame of furniture. I have cut a bunch of pieces, so this would be the main tag piece, and I believe it's 6.5 inches long. Yep. And then the pockets, I've also cut those, and they are just about 4 3/4 inches. And I have printed a bunch of labels. These are from the Graphics Fairy. These are from the premium membership site. I've reduced these in size, the red and the blue. And then these are some red and blue. I just love these so much. And I think I've got one of each here, all printed onto cardstock, red and blue apothecary labels. So I thought these would be perfect for this. Whoops. And then these, I think most of them are from the blog. I wanted to print them onto the craft paper, but it's a little too thick and my printer will not have it. So I printed them onto parchment and just backed them with the craft paper cardstock and just sewed around with some red thread. And what else? Oh, so we've got our goodies here. Oh, I've got my distress ink and my hole punch and my 3-in-1 glue. And then, as I did with this one and the one with the junk journal, I've got some game pieces and metal pieces and a ball chain here. So we've got some lotto pieces, which I've just drilled with my little Dremel with a really, I can't remember the size, but a very tiny drill bit. Whoops. And then added eye screws and jump rings. Here's bingo, and these are the little pieces from a vintage French game, and I just drilled straight through, and I got some bulb pins, and this is I don't know if you can see the 7, but this is from a vintage, one of those sliding games where you slide the pieces to put them in order. I've got an eyelet. This is also not just a mask making and an unfinished project, but I'm also trying to use things that I already have. I don't want to purchase anything. Here is a ball chain. I have a bunch of this because I used to make jewelry. And these are more of the little Tim Holtz tags, like this one, the metal tags. So I've got those. And then a perfect example of use what you have. So I have the bronze ball chain, but I didn't have any bronze ball chain attachments, so these were silver, and I just used alcohol ink that I had to color them in. And what else? Oh, these are Tim Holtz. And then so I have some of the paper brads and some jump rings. So to get started, I cut my 6.5 inch piece and my 4 3/4 piece, and to create the tag shape you can do a couple of different things. If you have a tag, you can use it as a guide, but one of the easiest ways I find is cut where you want on the corner, and then, so you've got that, just flip it over and place it on the other side and just use that as a guide to cut the other side. So there you have it. And then I stitch across the top of the pocket, and I have one here. This frays really easily, so I just want to try and keep control of that. I don't mind a little bit of fraying, but I don't want the whole thing to come apart. Holding this on, lined up, I sew around the whole thing, and I've got one here. And so you can see, and you can go over it twice if you feel like it's not holding as well as you want, and then see, a little bit of fraying is good. So to decorate, let's use, I do love this guy. So I'm going to maybe something like that. What do you think? No, I think I like this one. So I'm going to distress the edges. This one I'm going to rough up a little bit with my scissor. I just want to make it look a little more worn. Just quick like that. And then just going to distress ink. You could even add buttons to this, vintage buttons. And I don't mind if it pokes over the top of the pocket a little bit. So I'm just going to glue those on with my 3-in-1 glue. Just have him overlap a tiny bit. This always bubbles up. I know those of you who use this in Fabri-Tac feel my pain with the bubbling up. They say put a pin in it, but while you're crafting and in the middle of things, you're not thinking about that. So I try to keep the cover on it, but it always seems to bubble. And so we've got this gentleman here. And this is thick enough that I don't worry that the glue will seep through. I'm going to trim this little piece off. Oh, it just came off. Okay, so I punch the hole. And I don't measure, I just eye the center. And sometimes you have to go through a couple times because it is pretty thick. That looks pretty good. And then my eyelet. I don't know the settings that I'm using. Oh, I see the numbers. So this is, I don't see the number. I will have, oh, maybe it's 1. I'm sorry. I think it's 1. And there's like glue on this, and oh my goodness. 1A? Okay, don't quote me on that. I will look up what settings I have for the flat eyelets and put that down below in the description. And I will also link down below my Etsy shop and the Graphics Fairy if you're interested in checking out the images, and if you're interested in purchasing the tag pockets. And so looks good. So we got that. And now to do our charms, grab the ball chain, and I definitely want one of these. I love these little things. One of each of those. And we'll do the lotto. No, we'll do number 1. What else? We've got one of these. Got this little metal bit. Maybe that tag. Oh, that goes same metal, so okay. These I just thread onto the bulb pins like that. And I did, I don't know if I mentioned this, but I added a jump ring just so it slides along the ball chain because these eye screws are tiny. Alright, and so all I do is thread on the pieces. So I'm going to we'll do red, and then we'll do, oh, I need a jump ring. And they're not super thick, so I don't even need pliers. I just open and close them with my fingers. There we go. So we'll thread that one on. And I'm going to do this one. And then the lotto number. Okay. There we have, whoops. There we have all of our charms. And then I am going to glue a little blue label onto the back, I think. Or, no, let's do a red one. We're going to do red. So just distress ink that real quick. And just right there. Okay, so that is it, everyone. Thank you so much for spending some time with me. I'm going to keep working on these and get them ready for my Etsy shop. And please leave any questions and comments down below. I hope you're all doing really well, and I will see you back here again real soon. Bye, everybody.